Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Tonight we're going to be, of course, hanging out for a couple of hours and we're going to be chatting about a bunch of different things that have happened over the past week. It has been a mess. There has been so much going on. It's been kind of crazy. Unfortunately, of course, none of it is really positive. I wish that we could have more positive topics to talk about, but that is definitely not happening this week. I've got some Rings of Power news. We've got some unfortunate yet kind of good, I guess, Johnny Depp news. I feel like everyone's kind of conflicted on what happened. My opinion definitely may not be the positive one. Henry Cavill and what's been going on at DC over the past week. We've got a lot to talk about. So we're going to be chatting about Rings of Power and the future of Rings of Power because the head of global TV for Amazon decided to do an interview that I think was supposed to exist solely for the purpose of making people feel confident in the future of the show. But he decided to talk about return on investment and season 3, and he's basically saying that going into season 2, they're doing some things differently. They're trying to make it feel larger scale, more epic. But they also said that they should be doing season 3, and they still plan to do all, at least currently, 5 seasons, because when they initially announced the show, they said there was going to be like 5 seasons of it. So they're saying that, yes, their plan is still 5 seasons, which I just truly do not understand why you would do 5 seasons of this shit show. There's no possible way that it made them money with how much they invested in it. And he says that, the return on investment for season 1 was good. I just don't really believe that. I mean, Amazon has lied to us multiple times. Wouldn't surprise me if they had him go into this interview and lie to us yet again. We're going to be talking about Blue Protocol. This is a game that's been highly anticipated, but unfortunately Westerners are getting screwed over again because it is being censored. And it's not just being censored a little, because sometimes games do unfortunately receive censorship and it's not that bad. A costume is changed, it upsets people, but a lot of individuals still want to play it, experience it, and enjoy it. But unfortunately, Blue Protocol, they went the extra mile because they censored it so much that it is getting a teen rating. And that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to censor it this much so that it would get a teen rating, which is just disgusting. It is idiotic. I don't know why they think this is gonna work. Yeah, it might lead to a couple more sales from the teen age range, but I'm gonna be honest, I do not think it's going to outweigh the people that are going to boycott this game and not play it now. Highly anticipated, yeah, I would say that Blue Protocol is highly anticipated. I mean, I've been following it. I know a lot of people have been sending me news on it. I would consider it highly anticipated. And, well, unfortunately, we are getting screwed over yet again. But it's not that surprising because it's from Amazon Games, the franchise lead for Blue Protocol at Amazon. Can't say I'm surprised because Amazon is part of it. Of course. Fucking trash. We're going to be talking about, well, we're going to be talking about Avatar and, how cringe-worthy the news surrounding Avatar has been, because woke film critics are now mocking, or being mocked, for accusing Avatar 2 of cultural appropriation. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Avatar 2, it's not good enough, and they had to find something to attack about it. And now they're claiming white actors are cosplaying people of color. When I hear the phrase people of color, I definitely don't think of blue people, but I guess technically this is happening. Even though a lot of the actors are not white, and one of the main actresses isn't, even though people think that she is for some reason. Yeah. It's being accused of cultural appropriation now, because we just needed some angle to attack this game from. This film from, which is just fucking pathetic, but okay. We're gonna be talking about Johnny Depp and Amber. Stream is instantly demonetized as soon as I say Johnny Depp or Amber Heard, so thanks for being here, guys. Because the defamation suit has come to an end. Amber withdrew her appeal, agreed to pay the reduced $1 million defamation payment, and I've seen a lot of people say that this is a win for Johnny. This is awesome. The lawsuit is finally done. I honestly am not viewing it that way. I am viewing this as kind of a loss. It's his life. He's the one who decided to take this and have her only pay him $1 million. Maybe he just figured that there's no fucking way she was gonna pay him the $12 million on top of her own legal fees. But I don't really view this as a win, because she basically is getting off with being able to just sell, like, her car, and that's it. I mean, she was supposed to pay 12-ish million to him initially, and she's getting off with $1 million. That to me is, it makes Johnny look better. It really does, and maybe that's all he really cared about was his image. But I don't view this as a W. The industry still fucking hates him. The industry is still sucking up to Amber, and she should have had to pay him every fucking last cent. And now she doesn't, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. And we are going to be talking about the DCEU. I know that there's been a lot of DCEU news over the past few days and kind of weeks at this point. And there's news releasing, I feel, every 5 minutes with the DCEU, but I do have a couple of specific things I wanted to talk about. How hashtag fire James Gunn was trending on social media after Henry Cavill's Superman cancellation. I said at the beginning, when James Gunn was first hired, that it sounded like it could be positive, but honestly, he just doesn't strike me as like a manager. He's a director. He's a proven director. He has not proven himself as a manager of a giant brand or film franchise, and I think that he's making wrong move after wrong move. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to quickly chat about how Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot's cameos as Superman and Wonder Woman have been cut from The Flash, which just screams that Gal is done with the DCEU as well. Of course, Wonder Woman 3 got canceled, but it sounded like they were going to try to rewrite it, find a new director, go in a different direction. But Wonder Woman is being cut from The Flash, a movie that I personally think should be canceled at this point. Out of all of the movies that they could have canceled, they didn't cancel the one that I think they should have, primarily because of Ezra. But we've got that, and we've also just got some news about how upset DC fans are. DC fans are outraged after Gunn axes Cavill's Superman. Of course, this isn't really brand new. We've all been upset for weeks at this point, but I thought we could chat about that. But yeah, those are the topics for the evening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. The cats are being crazy tonight, so if you hear everything falling and being pushed around, it's the cats, because they have been going at each other all freaking day. But yeah, hi guys. Her career is over. She has no money. He won. Well, true. I mean, he's only taken $1 million from her, but she owns so many properties that do equal millions and millions and millions of dollars. I think he just wants it to be over, and I think he wants to try to look like the good guy as much as possible, and that's not saying that Johnny is in the wrong or anything. You guys already know my opinions on him, but I think that he is trying to look like the good guy, and in this case, oh, she just didn't have the money, you know, he's trying to be nice and let her off easy. I don't think that he should have. It's his deal, but I do not think that he should have let her off that easily. Cut from The Flash must be a major narrative rewrite for the new DCEU moving forward. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I don't even know what's going to be left of the DCEU after all of these changes have been made. I mean, holy shit, the DCEU is a fucking mess right now. Also, Dwayne Johnson a couple of hours ago put out a statement saying, oh, I might be in some projects in the future, but there's no plans for Black Adam right now. And James Gunn tried to play it off as like, I'm so excited to collaborate more with you in the future. There's no fucking way that Dwayne Johnson is going to collaborate with DC anytime in the future. He unfollowed all of the official Twitter accounts and social media accounts for Black Adam, for DC. He even unfollowed people like James Gunn. I just don't see a way that they're going to get him in another movie. It just doesn't make sense to me. The Cats better do an Ezra check. It is not Ezra, as far as I know, and if he pops up on my live stream and kills me, at least it's content for you guys. Camera on cats, I can't. They are running around like crazy today. As soon as I move the camera, they'd be gone. Another win against her appeal would have helped him a lot. Yeah. Again, it's his life, his decision. Whatever he feels like is the best course of action for him is what he should go with, and that is what he went with. I don't think it's a win, though. I know a lot of people are trying to say it's a win. I'm sorry, I just don't view it that way. I think it doesn't hurt him. I think it makes him look a little nice that he's letting her off easy, but it's not like some big win. It's not like she had to pay him the full amount. I would have fucking went for the throat. I'm waiting to see if John Cena gets his pink slip. What is John Cena even in? Besides, Peacemaker right now. Like, what is he even in? I don't think he's in anything. I think that's like the only shit. Which is kind of funny. What's worse, Fern Gully or the big budget ripoff Avatar? I don't think either are bad. I like Fern Gully. Cross my heart and hope to die that they don't try to fucking remake that. I mean, the messaging behind them are very similar, but they had a clear direction for their messaging, and that's why I don't hate them. You know, I'm not someone who constantly likes to watch the forests are being destroyed and people are being pushed out of their homes and everything bad is happening to the environment because humans suck. But I do think that both those movies at least did it well. So I don't hate either. Get the full amount and donate it to the women and kids charities, and you're like, he should have. I mean, he's got money. He still could, just with his own money, right? But I would have taken her for every cent and then figured out a very strategic plan and something to do with that money. And he would have looked much better. I think he's just banking on the fact that he's not going for the throat, and he's like, oh, I'm going to, you know, I'm gonna give her a chance. I'm not forcing her to sell her cars and houses and properties and all these different things. And I do think that that makes him look good. But the problem is that it only makes him look good to Hollywood. And nobody gives a fuck. Any of us, none of us give a fuck about what Hollywood cares about him, because Hollywood already fucking hates him. And none of us are going to praise him for letting Amber off easy. So it's just kind of conflicting, because I don't give a fuck. You should have taken everything from her. I don't give a fuck if she has to live out of her van. She's a piece of shit, you know? But he wants to look good to Hollywood, but Hollywood already hates him. So it's very conflicting. It's very conflicting. I guess we could start with the Johnny topic. We might as well. Johnny Depp's defamation suit comes to an end as Amber Heard withdraws appeal and agrees to reduce to $1 million defamation payment. Chat, because I said Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's name, that means that the stream is demonetized, so thank you for being here. But it says after... Oh, I have to move this. Sorry, chat. After years of having his name dragged through the mud by everyone from misled fans to Disney executives thanks to her defamatory op-ed, Johnny has finally reached the end of his battle to reclaim his reputation from his ex-wife Amber Heard. Again, I sadly do not think that this is the end of his battle. I think that he still has battles he has to get through, and it doesn't matter if he technically beats her in court if she doesn't have to pay anything and she gets to keep her career and he doesn't, because still, yeah, demonetized for just that. Whenever I say Amber and Johnny's names, my videos instantly get fucking demonetized, and sometimes streams don't, because streams are a little better about being demonetized, because I think the bots just don't really watch live streams as much as like videos. There's kind of like this YouTube trick where after 25 minutes or whatever of streaming, if you don't say like any swears or any trigger names, you're most likely to not get demonetized, but I did in the first 5 minutes, so yeah, we're kind of fucked. Following a Virginia jury's June 1st verdict that the actress has indeed defamed her ex-husband with her now infamous op-ed, Heard attempted to appeal the decision on the grounds that the court had made numerous errors in its handling of the proceedings, particularly by allowing Depp's lawsuit to actually move forward. However, ostensibly realizing the futility of her poorly argued attempt to evade accountability and reach an agreement with his lawyers and only pay $1 million of her original $8.35 million, the actress has now withdrawn her appeal. As announced by Heard in a 4-part post published to her personal Instagram account on December 19th, after a great deal of deliberation, I made a very difficult decision to settle the defamation case brought to me by my ex-husband in Virginia. I still think it's fucking hilarious that she doesn't say his name, because she's still under that mentality of like the whole fucking defamation case of, oh, well, I didn't say his name, so I get away with it, and she didn't get away with it. But I think that it's hilarious. So she said, after a great deal of deliberation, I have made a very difficult decision to settle the defamation case brought against me by my ex-husband in Virginia. It's important for me to say that I never chose this. I defended my truth, and in doing so, my life as I knew it was destroyed. No, it fucking wasn't. You got tons of attention, you got tons of roles, you were handed roles, and you're a shitty actress. It says, the vilification I have faced on social media is an amplified version of the ways in which women are re-victimized when they come forward. Now I finally have an opportunity to emancipate myself from something I attempted to leave over 6 years ago, and on terms I can agree with. You didn't leave it alone. I hate the way that she frames everything. She's the victim. Everyone should feel bad for her. She talks about how I was re-victimized and I tried to leave this in the past. You know, this happened 6 years ago. Maybe you shouldn't have written the fucking op-ed. Maybe you shouldn't have went on social media and trashed him. Maybe you shouldn't have said slanderous, defamatory things about him in multiple interviews and articles, and it would have been left in the past. She should have just made one initial statement saying, fuck Johnny Depp, he was a piece of shit to me, and she should have left it at that, but she didn't. She's gone into tons of interviews. She did her op-ed. And unfortunately now, it's not going to stop, because as far as we know, yes, she accepted the $1 million, so she's only paying him $1 million, but she gets to write her fucking book now. So this isn't going to stop. This is the problem. She's going to keep doing this shit. She gets to write her book now. So she's in Aquaman 2. I'm sure she's going to be in other things in Hollywood. She had like 3 or 4 projects lined up. She gets to write her book now. Honestly, she really hasn't faced any fucking repercussions for her actions. I understand that Johnny wants to look like the good guy, and we've heard that Amber would have to sell her car, she was going to have to sell her house, she was going to have to sell out of some of her property in order to sell, or in order to make enough money from sales to pay Johnny. Clearly he did this and he just accepted the $1 million because he feels like it's a win. He thinks that, you know what, Hollywood will like me for this. But the problem is that no one is going to like him for this, and it sucks to say, but people like you and I, we don't give a fuck about Amber, right? We don't care if she has to pay $1 million or $10 million. We want the maximum of what she has to pay. We don't care if she has to sell her car, she has to sell one of her 5 houses. They're millions of dollars each. We don't care if all of the money, the millions of dollars she makes from movies have to go to Johnny. We don't care, okay? So it looks bad for consumers that he's just kind of letting her go as easily as she wanted to be. And for Hollywood, Hollywood doesn't like Johnny. Hollywood isn't going to like Johnny even though he did this. He's a great actor. He's made a lot of money in the industry, but they don't like him. So doing this isn't going to make anyone happy. It's not going to make Hollywood like him and think that he's a good guy suddenly. They fucking hate him. And it just makes people like us look like I don't want to say weak, because I don't think that this is a move of weakness, but it makes him look like he just kind of bent over backwards and he was like, you know what, let's just get her for the least amount because I feel bad. It just sucks because it leaves everyone in this middle ground. I know that people have tried to view this as a win. She's got to pay him $1 million. That's like not even half of what she got for Aquaman and what she's getting for Aquaman 2. That's the problem, right? Is that $1 million to people like us, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, right? I'll take $1 million. But the problem is that to her, it's really not a lot of money. So I don't know. I know that people are trying to view this as a win, and I do think that it is nice of him that he's letting her off easy. I don't stand by this Johnny decision. I'm sorry. I think it was a bad move. He should have tried to get her for everything she was fucking worth. He didn't fight 4 years and lose his reputation just to let her off easy. I make this decision having lost faith in the American legal system, where my unprotected testimony served as entertainment and social media fodder. You were the fucking one who made this all public. You were the one who decided to make everything the big fucking deal publicly. When I stood before a judge in the UK, I was vindicated by a robust, impartial, and fair system. Go to the UK then. Bye. Bye. Nobody gives a fuck. Leave. Go there then. Amber, the only reason why she feels like she was vindicated in the UK and the UK did so much better is because they left evidence out from Johnny's side of the fucking story. That's the only reason why she won in the UK, even though it was technically the Sun and it wasn't her, but it was still viewed as a win for her. The only reason why she won in the UK was because they left evidence out of Johnny's side of things, and he wasn't able to fucking appeal it because they were screwing him over. He was biased. He knew Amber. He knew her family. I think that this is hilarious. Go then. Go live in the UK. You love their system so much. Bye. I'm not gonna shed a tear. I don't think any of us here are gonna shed tears for you, Amber. Leave. Goodbye. Peace out. See you later. I mean, seriously. And technically, it's funny because she has made multiple statements, like when she initially lost to Johnny in Virginia, she made a statement that could have been seen as defamatory and could have gotten her sued again. And this statement could probably get her sued again. I don't think Johnny's gonna do that because he's trying to look like the good guy. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like people are a little bit split on this situation because, like I said, a lot of people are trying to view this as a win for Johnny, and it is a win to a certain degree, right? It is a win, but it's not the win. I just think that it's kind of a loss in a lot of ways. So it is what it is. Time is precious, and I want to spend my time productively and purposefully. For too many years, I have been caged in an arduous and expensive legal process which has shown itself unable to protect me and my right to free speech. I love how people like Amber try to use free speech as an excuse to say slanderous things. She clearly doesn't know what the definition of free speech is, but she tries to say, oh, everything that she said was free speech, even though it was fucking highly slanderous. I think that that's kind of funny, because she clearly doesn't know, right? Like her lawyer was like, you say free speech, it's free speech. Make yourself look better, Amber. And she doesn't look better, but I think that's fucking hilarious. She's a legit psychopath, unable to conquer her narcissism or admit she was wrong. Yeah, and that I feel like if she had come out, like if she came out now, or if she had months ago, you know, and she had said like, oh, you know, I stand by a lot of what I did, but there were instances where I was wrong, and I should have rethought like what I was saying, and I am sorry. If she publicly like apologized to Johnny, and she tried to make herself look just like a half-decent person, I think a lot of people would forgive her. But she hasn't done that, and she doesn't care about doing that, which is the problem. Right, and that's another thing, Trent. She never talks about her kid unless it's as a defense, unless she's trying to push an agenda. And it's like what Hollywood does with people of color and, you know, members of the LGBT. Oh, you can't attack our show because it's filled with people of color, and then you're a racist. It's the same shit, but it's a little more gross because it's with a child, literal baby. But I mean, all of the situations are bad. And Amber, well, has decided that I feel like she literally just had her child so that she could mature herself, right? Because a lot of the discussion in like the legal battle that she was facing, the problem was that she seemed like a fucking child. She seemed like she was like a drunk teenager, like a 22-year-old who wanted to party and drink. And I feel like to change her image, she got a kid, and that was supposed to be like a defense for her, and it didn't really work out the way that she was anticipating. So I think that was kind of funny. Anyway, guys, that's my opinion on this situation. I think that while yes, it does make Johnny look a little bit better, I unfortunately just don't think that Johnny is going to please the people he was hoping to please with this move. I see this as kind of like a neutral zone. I don't think it's really a win, but I don't think it's a loss. I just think he should have gotten everything out of her that he could have, and he didn't. And that's his decision. It is what it is. And, yeah, now we're going to talk about Rings of Power, everybody's favorite show. Oh my, that's interesting. Oh. Anyway. Defamation covers it all. She spoke and wrote harmful lies. Oh yeah. Amber Heard will always have a job with James Gunn. I don't understand what James Gunn is thinking. He's not firing people like Amber, like Ezra. Honestly, if you want to release The Flash, just fucking do it now. Don't wait till June or July or whenever it's supposed to come out. Just fucking release it and get it done with, because no matter what, your people are going to be pissed off and people are going to boycott it. It doesn't fucking matter when you release it, just release it. You're not convincing me that Rings of Power isn't done. There's no... Rings of Power? It's because it's on screen. There's no way that The Flash isn't done. Like, it's gotta be done. And they keep removing cameos from it. Just fucking release it already. It's like with Aquaman 2. Clearly it's done. Just release it. You're gonna piss people off anyway, so you might as well just get it done with. Speaking of Rings of Power, they could hire Amber as Galadriel. What do you think? I mean, bad actress replacing a bad actress. He's firing the likable actors like Cavill and Gal, but keeping the unlikable ones like Amber and Ezra. Yeah, and that's the problem. It's not done. The animation and FX are still halfway. I don't believe that. I know that that's what they're saying. I don't believe it. They have been working on this movie for like 4 years at this point. They just cut a bunch of cameos from it. You're not convincing me that that it's not done or they can't finish it in the next like fucking month, right? If there's a chance that it's not done, it's gotta be right there. I don't believe anything that these people say, though. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a little too critical. I don't fucking believe them. They're liars. Anna Faris. What has she even been in lately? I'm only ever gonna remember her from fucking House Bunny. They came out like 2005. Yeah, DC is going downhill. I thought Godot is staying. That was what we heard initially, and I do have an article for this, but Henry and Gal's cameos were cut from The Flash. So she doesn't have a movie in the works because they canceled Wonder Woman 3. Her cameo was cut from The Flash, even though they just apparently recorded it a couple months ago. And we have no clue what's even going to happen after The Flash. It sounds like she is out at this point. Who knows? But anyway, guys, Rings of Power. Stop slavering 3D animators and FX engineers, Vera. We need sleep, too. Well, yeah, but we're talking about DC here, where they have hundreds of animators and they have hundreds of visual effects engineers. We're not talking about an indie project here. We're talking about fucking Warner Brothers. They have hundreds of people. You're not telling me that there's only two people slaving away at this movie. They just need to put more people on the movie and get the shit done. Like, they need to cancel it, in my opinion. But guys, we're gonna talk about the Rings of Power now. Very fun. So, the head of global TV for Amazon went into an interview talking about the future of Rings of Power, talking about Season 1 return on investment and the Season 3 renewal. Now, I'm not going to read all this because it is kind of long. Oh, man, I can't believe that they had to fucking recast Adar. But the Rings of Power started setting records before a frame of it had been released, when word came out of New Zealand last year that its 8-episode first season cost a record $465 million to produce, and of course we know that that doesn't include tax, and that doesn't include the cost of actually obtaining the rights. That's where we get the $1 billion from. In an interview with Deadline, Vernon Sanders, head of global TV for Amazon Studios, says the financial bet has more than paid off. I love how that's what they say. It's paid off. What does that mean? You know? What do you mean it's paid off? The whole season? The next 5 seasons that you're planning to do? He addresses the success of the show, where it broke records for most global viewers in its first day, 25 million, and overall more than 100 million for minutes streamed, 24 billion, and signups worldwide during its launch window attracted young viewers, which we know that all of this is basically a lie, and affluent audiences. 40% coming from households with income greater than 100K. Well, now we know who liked it. Affluent audiences. And beyond, boosting Amazon's sale of Tolkien books on which the series was based. Now, this is funny because this number has changed like a million fucking times now, where it broke records for most global viewers in its first day, 25 million. Initially, we heard that that was a 4-day span, that was like Friday and the weekend, because they released it on a Friday, but they released 2 episodes. So we heard that the 25 million was like 4 days, and now we're hearing that it's a day. Can you guys make up your fucking mind with what fake information you're giving us? Also, of course, they don't actually bring that up. They say, you know, more than 100 million, global viewers in its first day, 25 million, and overall more than 100 million. For minutes streamed, 24 billion. Of course, they don't bring up the fact that that's 2 episodes. They make it sound like that's 1 episode. That is 2 episodes that launched at the same time, but of course they're not going to mention that, because then you start dividing those numbers, and well, it doesn't sound that good for them. It actually sounds kind of bad. It says in the interview, he speaks about what to expect from season 2. I don't really expect much from season 2. We've heard that they want to make the battles larger scale, and we heard from the showrunners that they wanted to make it more Tolkien accurate. I don't really see a way that they could do that at this point. And that's not even really the whole story, because initially they said, we don't give a fuck about you guys, basically. And they said that they weren't changing anything. They already had season 2 written, and that's the direction they were going in. And then they changed their tune and said that they were trying to make it more accurate to Tolkien source material. Again, even though I don't know how they do that at this point. But it says in the interview, they talk about season 2. He discusses the impact of moving production from New Zealand to the UK, whether Amazon is committed to the vision of the Rings of Power writers, showrunners, and executive producer Payne and McKay for the series to span 5 seasons, and when we can expect a season 3 renewal. So he basically says that yes, they are planning on doing all 5 seasons like they initially announced. They're excited for the 5 seasons. I just still don't believe that. I just don't really see that. I think that yes, they'll do 3 seasons. I think they're gonna end it with a trilogy. I don't think they'll do 5. I think they'll say, you know what, in the spirit of the other movies and the material that already exists, we're gonna do a trilogy series. They won't do 5. I have been saying it from the very beginning, and you guys know that. I do not think that they're gonna do 5. There's no fucking shot that this is gonna make them enough money. No, they've only paid for 3. That's why I think they'll end at 3. This is the first time since their initial announcement that they're talking about 5. They haven't actually even greenlit 3. They haven't written 3. They haven't started production on 3. They've only technically greenlit 2. That's why I think they'll change their direction, and they'll swerve, and they'll stop at 3. It says, though, how would you evaluate the performance of Rings of Power? It's been a tremendous success for us. It performed incredibly well around for the well, around the globe. It is by far our best scripted series. It is the most acquisitive show that we've put out. After we finished releasing episodes, we saw a new surge of people come to the service to start the show. We've already released the fact that we're over 100 million, and the number has gone up since then, which I think is funny because no, you haven't. I talked about it, but it was like in October, at the beginning of October, they said the show was creeping up on 100 million viewers. And then a month and a half later in November, they said that they still hadn't hit that 100 million. So this is the first time that I'm hearing about them reaching the 100 million. And I've said this multiple times. I'm not excited for season 2, but I've been keeping a very close eye on what they're doing with the show. This is the first time they're mentioning it being over 100 mil. We're really proud that the show drove renewed interest to the books. Oh my fucking god, I hate you guys. We're really proud that the show drove renewed interest in the books. We saw spikes in book sales. Maybe, I don't know, people buy these fucking books from other places. I hate these people. They're now patting themselves on the back, saying that they're the reason why there's a renewed interest in the books. Motherfucker, we're talking about J.R.R. Tolkien here. You are not, okay, going to say that you're the reason why his books have a uptick in interest and popularity. Yeah, maybe more people are buying the books on Amazon, but Amazon isn't the only book retailer. We saw spikes in the book sales. Shut the hell up. Don't give yourselves credit for Tolkien books maybe doing slightly better right before the holiday season, may I add. Because you guys want to pat yourselves on the backs. That's so cringy. I hate the word cringe. That is cringy. Also, they say it's been a company-wide success. Yeah, you know what? I think it's... listen, okay? There is a big reason why the show might have done a little bit better than even I was expecting. And that's because it's fucking Amazon, okay? If you go to Amazon and you open Amazon Prime, you're going to see ads for Rings of Power. If you have Prime Video and you, like, use Prime at all, and you watch any of their shows, okay, it's constantly popping up Rings of Power, Rings of Power, Rings of Power. It's because you have one of the largest shopping platforms there is, and you're just shoving your content literally anywhere that you can to advertise. You have hundreds of millions of dollars in free advertisement, you know? Of course, you're gonna bring people into it. That doesn't necessarily make it a success, though, and they're saying that it's a success, and it's more than paid off for them, but they don't actually give us any numbers, which is kind of expected, but kind of funny. They don't give us any numbers, because they probably don't actually have any good numbers to show us. It says, we are absolute... Rings of Power received an early Season 2 renewal in late 2019. Now that Season 1 is out, are you still committed to the 5 seasons? When can we expect a Season 3 renewal? They say, we are absolutely committed. We have every reason to be excited. They have done a tremendous job. Now, we were just talking about it. Thank you, Chris, for the 5. I appreciate it.
Christopher donated $5.
Don't fucking insult Sauron
Amber
like
is
that,
the
okay?
perfect casting
Shut up,
for
Chris.
Sauron, in my opinion.
Don't insult Sauron like that, okay? Don't give them any ideas. Chris. Come on. Thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Don't give them any ideas, Chris. Okay? Don't. Anyway, let's get back on track. We're absolutely committed and we have every reason to be excited. They've done a tremendous job. We've talked about this, and we were talking about this just a couple minutes ago. I don't think that they'll do 5 seasons, right? I've said from the very beginning, I think they'll only do 3 seasons. I think they'll cut their losses. But, I do want to add a little caveat. Caveat. I said it wrong. I think that if they did 5 seasons, it would only be to try to prove people wrong. I could see them trying to do 5 because they want to prove us wrong. You know, we got to do the 5 seasons. That was our initial plan. We're so excited for the future. You guys are just fucking wrong. That's the only reason I could see them doing 5 seasons, but I'm still sticking with 3. I don't think they'll actually do 5. I think they'll do 3. Yeah, caveat. I tripped over my words. Caviar. That's disgusting. But it's a great question about season 3. We're probably 2 or 3 months in on season 3, but we haven't heard about that. Season 3 isn't even technically greenlit yet. So they must be getting ready to start production on it. I mean, they're doing season 2. They must be starting to write season 3. It says there's so much planning and prep that's necessary for us to get this mounted that the only reason we probably haven't gotten there quite yet is just because we've been so heads down on season 2. But I would expect there to be news in the new year. I don't know, guys. Are you excited for Rings of Power season 2 and 3? You better be. According to Amazon. How is production on season 2 going? It's going great. Jeez, thanks, Sanders. Really appreciate it. That's honestly very great. How is moving production from New Zealand to the UK going to impact season 2? It just means that they have to spend more money on sets. Then they also talk about how they have plans for bigger battles in season 2. It's hard for me to sit through reading things like this because I just don't believe anything that they say at this point. I don't think that they're honest ever. They're never honest. They constantly tell us, oh, we're working on this season and we're doing this and we're going to make it more accurate to source material. There's no way that they could at this point. So, yeah, guys, that's all that I really had to discuss with that. We will move topics in just a minute to Blue Protocol. This is going to be rather quick. It's Sankaku Complex, so let's hope there's not a pop-up that gets me banned. Everybody, pray for me. They keep talking like it's such a success. Not doing 5 would certainly raise a lot of questions. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Flipple. I think if they didn't do 5 seasons, they would look like liars, and they would look kind of, I don't know, pathetic, I guess, is the only word that kind of comes to mind, because it would look like they backed out of their original plan. I just don't see them shoving that much money into these seasons. I think, this is something I've been considering for the past, 2 weeks. I think they could do 3 seasons and then do a movie. I know that they only have rights, as far as we know right now, for the show. I think that they maybe want to do 3 seasons in a movie. I could see that. Direct to streaming, Lord of the Rings movie. I also think, now this is just like a very I don't know, out there theory. This is really tinfoil. I think they're gonna change the name of the show. I think the Rings of Power is such a fucking tainted name at this point. I think they'll change the name. I don't know if they'll change it going into season 2, but I think that at least season 3, they would change the name. Or if they do all 5 seasons, they would do the first 3 seasons as like a Rings of Power story and then change the name for the last 2 seasons. I don't think they'll keep the name Rings of Power. Now that's just completely tinfoil, but I think the Rings of Power name is so fucking tainted that they want to change the name. Because they keep just calling it Lord of the Rings, right? They don't call it Rings of Power in all these interviews. The Lord of the Rings series, the Rings series, and the Rings, you know, the Lord of the Rings TV show, like, they don't want to call it Rings of Power. So I think they'll change the name. But that's, like, completely just, like, speculation, just a theory. No proof whatsoever. The Ring of More Power. Yeah. The powered rings. See? They'll change the name. I have that feeling. Now that's a waste of money? What is? Besides just this whole show in general. Rings of Power has more value than people think. It works amazing on insomnia nights. It's like the ASMR YouTube channels. Kind of, yeah. They won't refer to it as Amazon's either. I think that was a problem that they did, was they kept calling it Amazon's Rings of Power. Amazon. Nobody has fucking loyalty to Amazon. Okay? Amazon Prime Video, at least, is shit. Okay? It's fucking trash. Nobody has Amazon Prime Video loyalty. I think that was a mistake as well. And even though I don't really think it's Lord of the Rings, they still call it Lord of the Rings. And that's the marketing that I think they want to lean more into. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, let's move on. We are going to be talking about Blue Protocol. It's going to be a quick topic. It's going to be a quick discussion, but I did want to bring it up. Name change is certainly possible. I agree with Vera. Name change is very possible. Yeah, I think they'll change the name. I just think the Rings of Power name is tainted. I just think it's had a lot of controversy surrounding it. I think that while the first 2 seasons, or 3 seasons if they go all 5, will be about the Rings of Power, I think that they'll shift it and have it be like more just about like Arda, or like something to do with Sauron, the rise of Sauron, something that sounds just more epic. I think that they'll change it. But anyway, guys, Blue Protocol. This is a game that, from what I have seen, has been highly anticipated. And I've been following it on social media. I know a lot of people have been sending me news about it. But unfortunately, we have some unfortunate news to talk about today. This is another project that Amazon has their claws into. It is probably the reason for its inevitable failure. Blue Protocol's Western release censored. We wanted a teen rating. So Westerners looking forward to playing Blue Protocol might be disappointed to learn that the Western version of the game will be censored, as those behind the game are striving to achieve a teen rating, and once again serving as an example of Westerners being denied the chance to play a fully uncensored title. A brief interview with the franchise lead for Blue Protocol at Amazon Games disclosed that their aim for the teen rating was so that their friends and family could play together. First of all, I don't imagine grandma playing a waifu game like this. I just don't fucking see it. And I don't see young kids playing a game like this. I think that the problem is that this game initially started as a more weeb game. I don't say that in a mean way. I'm a weeb, I love weeb games. But they decided that they wanted to bring it more in a Genshin Impact zone, right? They wanted to bring it more in that direction where it's family friendly, everybody can play it. And they decided to change it so far down the line that now the whole entire game is being shifted around, which is just kind of depressing because, again, Westerners, there are a lot of social justice warriors that are Westerners, and they want games censored, toned down, altered, and, well, unfortunately, it seems like they are getting their way with this title. And as it says, as I pointed out, it is from Amazon Games, franchise lead for Blue Protocol at Amazon Games. Amazon Games has put out nothing good, and, well, it's fucking Amazon, okay? Whenever you hear Amazon, run. That's why when people the other day were talking about the Henry Cavill Warhammer 40k series, I wanted to be excited, and I wanted to be hopeful. Bro, I'm sorry. Who the fuck can get excited for anything Amazon? Whether they're greenlighting it, they're paying for it, they're creating it, it doesn't matter, it's Amazon! There's nothing that they do that's good. So, PC Games asked, will there be any differences between versions of the games? And then, the franchise lead said there will be a few minor differences between the Japanese and Western versions. I'm sorry, but when a game gets the equivalent of an M for mature in one region, and then the other region, in this case the Western version, is a T for teen, you're not going to convince me that it's a few minor differences. That is changing the whole direction of the game. It says the main reason for this is we are aiming for a teen rating for our market so that Blue Protocol becomes a title that our friends and family can play together. There are certain things we need to change for this goal, but things like bosses, open world experiences, and such are all are the same in all versions, meaning we know what they're going to change. It's going to be dialogue. The dialogue's going to be toned down. It's going to be much more streamlined, and it's going to be costumes. The outfits in this game are going to be toned down. We're not going to have sexy characters. Everything's going to be bland and blah. And now, unfortunately, if you were excited for this game, well, sadly get fucked. You know, right, no booba allowed, no adult content allowed, because they've decided they don't want to make this for, you know, their targeted audience. No, now they want to make it for everybody, friends, families. As Chris is saying, they're not using the term, but modern audiences, Western social justice warriors. So, unfortunately, this game is, I don't want to call it dead on arrival, but dead on arrival. Any interest that I had in it is kind of gone down the drain at this point. Maybe it will still come out and it'll be good. What the fuck are you guys laughing at me for? Okay, stop laughing at me. Stop, Chad. You guys are so judgmental. What did I do now? What did I say now? Because I said no boobas allowed? What are you, 10? Ha ha, she said boobs. Yeet the titties. Yes, actually Amazon. But yeah, guys, Blue Protocol Western release censored because they wanted a teen rating. I'll probably end up doing a video on this tomorrow, but unfortunately, get fucked, gamers. 0 for gamers, 1 for censorship. What do we want to call them? Censorship Puritans? I wish the interviewers would ask tougher follow-up questions. Well, that's a completely valid criticism. Western journalists don't give a fuck. They want censorship. They want things toned down. They want things to be more politically correct. That's why they're not fighting back. You would think that they'd be like, wow, you're censoring this game. Why are you doing that? Don't you think people are gonna be upset? Like, do you think you're gonna face a boycott and a loss in sales? And instead of asking legitimate questions like that, they just basically go, wow, that's great. Anyway, let's pretend like that, you know, didn't pop up in conversation because, well, we don't want to criticize you guys because we are afraid of pissing these developers off. And that's how these shit journalists work now. So yeah, guys, that's fun and exciting, and Blue Protocol is going to be censored because they wanted a teen rating. Wish I could say I was surprised, but none of us are surprised at this point. And, yeah. Gamers get fucked again. 0 gamers, 1 for censorship lovers. Let's make God of War for little kids. Oh, God, the God of War TV show. I love TV shows based around video games. I'm all for them. Why did they decide to do that, though? They decided to not show Kratos' whole story. They're skipping the original games. And they're going straight to God of War 2018 for the show. Why? You're skipping out on his entire fucking backstory. So stupid. People are trash. Such a bad decision, in my opinion. Well, guys, this is going to be another quick topic as well. Diablo 4. I missed this when the story initially launched, but I wanted to talk about it quickly. Diablo 4 report details troubled development and potential crunch time to meet the release date. A report citing multiple in-house sources and former employees detail that Blizzard is having trouble meeting another deadline for D4. The company has been working on the newest iteration in hopes to release it to the public in 2023. However, it seems the company might struggle to finish D4 in time for the current launch schedule. As we know, they announced that it's coming out in June of 2023. That's at least the plan right now. We also heard about the controversy surrounding the collector's edition and how they are just creating like this collector's box that doesn't actually have a copy of the game. And now we're hearing about crunch, which I can't really say I'm too surprised with. I mean, this is Blizzard that we're talking about. Blizzard is trash. Blizzard has been trash, and while I like some Activision Blizzard titles, and I've been very transparent about that, like I love Call of Duty, I like Overwatch, I used to like Diablo, I'm just feeling kind of disappointed still. I mean, I know that being disappointed with Blizzard is not new by any means, but we keep hearing about situations like this, and they're not freaking changing. It says D4 is Blizzard's upcoming action-adventure game. I don't think that I need to tell you guys what Diablo 4 is, but it says Blizzard responded to these claims, saying that Diablo 4 development is going well, although during the iterative process, things are bound to change. There's no game-wide crunch either, at least not yet, according to the Blizzard spokesperson, who of course would lie through their teeth to defend the company, may I add. Specific teams have been offered overtime, and it is entirely voluntary. I truly do not believe that. I feel like behind the scenes, they probably are forcing people to crunch. They probably are saying, we need as many people as we can to crunch. And that's that. I don't really believe that Blizzard is changing behind the scenes. And I just don't think that Blizzard cares about their employees. I mean, it says company employees have come forward anonymously and reported that the leaked release date is going to require a crunch from the Diablo 4 teams, and we already know that that date is confirmed. It says Blizzard asked employees to work overtime leading up to launch. According to sources, a timely launch is either going to require a lot of extra hours from the workforce or cutting off certain features. I think they'll do both. I think that people will crunch because Unfortunately, that's just kind of how the gaming industry is. People do have to crunch. I'm not saying that I support that or I like that or that's good, because it's not. But I think that they're going to force people to crunch, and I think that they are going to remove certain features. I think that they'll probably tone the game back, dial it back a little bit, try to change some things, cut some corners, and I don't expect this game to launch in a good state either. We talk about it all the time, but games keep launching, and they're fucking buggy, they're broken. I think that will happen with Diablo 4. Honestly, I think that happens with most large AAA games at this point. It's kind of funny because indie studios are creating games that are releasing much better and just kind of much more solidly than even AAA releases and companies are. And well, guys, yeah, apparently behind the scenes, a Diablo 4 report details troubled development. It's saying potential crunch times. Of course, classic video game journalists trying to defend Blizzard, they're saying potential crunch times. You know, we're being told that that's not the case and that's not true, so only time will tell. Clearly it's true. Clearly it's true. But of course, they just want to defend Diablo and defend Blizzard and say, you know what, maybe this will happen. It's only potential at this point. So, well, guys, yeah, Diablo, crunch, troubled development. If anybody is surprised, put a 1 in chat. Because I think maybe there will be one or 2 1s. There's no way there's going to be more than that. Anyway, guys, with that being said, we're going to move into the final topic of the evening, which is going to be Henry Cavill and DC and James Gunn and bad news. I'm passing on this, not a fan of always online games that can be played solo. Yeah, I think that Diablo 4, it's kind of controversial because of the always online direction, I guess we'll just say, that they're going in. Unfortunately, I do think that we are going to see a hell of a lot more games do that. I mean, we've already seen that trend start, but I think that it will continue. One, there's no way that you guys are surprised. There's no shot that you guys are surprised that Blizzard is going through crunch with this game. There's no fucking way. You guys are trolls. Stop with the ones. You guys are not surprised. No way. There's no way. You guys are trolls. Anyway, chat. We are surprised. There's no way. Stop. You guys are trolls. Krista, 2 1s. Anyway, guys, before we move into the next topic. You guys are such trolls. Before we move into the next topic, if you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like. If you're not enjoying, make sure to give it a dislike. Check out links in the description and the pinned comment. Become a member. You get access to a bunch of different emotes. You get access to a special badge next to your name. I will be doing the supporter stream tomorrow, so if you become a member tonight, a Dark Titan via Patreon tonight, you do get access to it. I will be doing supporter stream tomorrow evening. So yeah, become a member, donate via Streamlabs. All donations pop up through Streamlabs. $3 or more text-to-speech activates. You can also donate via Super Chat. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Vera doesn't believe her own chat. I don't, because you guys are trolling me. You guys are trolls. You guys are not surprised that Blizzard is shitty. So, chat, I've got a couple of small, short annoying CBR articles and just articles about DC in general to read. First of all, let's start with disappointing news. Of course, Henry Cavill is no longer Superman. We've heard that Wonder Woman 3 is canceled. And while we have heard that it seemed, at least, like they were going to find a new director for Wonder Woman 3 and find a different writer for Wonder Woman 3, it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. Because not only is Henry Cavill as Superman's cameo being cut from The Flash, but Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman's cameo has been cut from The Flash, which definitely does not bode well for her fans. It says there is more bad news to be shared about the exit of Henry Cavill, and it affects his appearance in The Flash, which was supposed to be his second DC film after Black Adam. And that's not all. Gal and her uncertain future as Wonder Woman is caught up in this as well, according to a new report. It says The Hollywood Reporter reveals both of their cameos in the film have been cut, giving Flash less of a connection to the broader and former DCEU. They write James and Peter are mounting a substantial overhaul of DC that will cut significant, if not most, ties to the previous regimes that handled DC movies for Warner Brothers. I can't say I'm surprised that they've decided to cut these actors out, but I am very disappointed. I really like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I think that she's pretty good. I really liked her work. Even though, listen, Wonder Woman 1984 was a trash pile. Wonder Woman 1984 was a very bad movie. But I liked her in the first Wonder Woman film, and I liked her cameos in other movies like Justice League. I would like to see her as this character again, but unfortunately, it just doesn't sound like they're going in that direction. They're getting rid of Cavill. It sounds like they're getting rid of Gal. They don't really know what they're going to do. It just is a nightmare behind the scenes. I'm so sad that this is what is happening. Can't say I'm really surprised, though. Also, hashtag Fire James Gunn has been trending on social media. Following Henry Cavill's Superman cancellation, DC fans have started a revolt against the new DC Studios head James Gunn over the cancellation of Cavill's Superman return. Per MovieWeb, 2 hashtags began to trend on Twitter following the news that Gunn had canceled plans for Cavill's Superman, with hashtag Bring Back Zack Snyder and Fire James Gunn dominating social media since the news broke. And even earlier today, when I was looking up the hashtag, it was still technically trending. Of course, people are talking about it less, but it's still technically trending, which is hilariously depressing because we are not getting these characters back. No matter how much we do, no matter how many hashtags we tweet, James Gunn is here to stay. These characters are out, and unfortunately, DC fans get screwed over yet again. It says, rather than bring back Cavill's popular turn as the Man of Steel, Gunn announced his work on a young Superman story that revealed the hero's early years, which meant removing the Witcher star from the role. This comes just months after he confirmed his return following a cameo appearance in Black Adam's end credits. It says, almost as soon as the reveal came, DC fans began to express their outrage over Gunn's decisions on Twitter. Many pleaded with the new DC Studios head to reconsider, while others called into question Gunn and the co-CEO Peter Safran's plans for DC Studios. This comes amid several major shakeups as the pair completely rebuild the DC film universe. Now I have a question to ask you guys. Do you think the DCEU is going to survive in its current state? Do you think that they are going to keep the few characters that they have around still? And do you think that they're going to try to partially rebuild? Or do you think that after the Flash movie comes out and after Aquaman 2 comes out, they're going to completely annihilate the DCEU and just start all the way over? I don't know how I feel at this point. I think that they might keep Jason Momoa, Amber, Ezra around. But at the same time, I think that a lot of them are so controversial that they're just going to restart. I think they're getting rid of all of them. Not a chance. Nope, DCEU is dead. Yeah, I feel like they've been very picky with who they're keeping and who they're not, which is stupid because they're picking the wrong people, right? They're firing Cavill, Gal, but they're keeping people like Amber and Ezra. I feel kind of conflicted on it. They're going to wipe the whole thing and start over, I think. I think that that's a safe bet at this point because of how controversial everything's been. They had something good going with Gal, with Henry. Of course, they got rid of Ben Affleck as Batsy already. But I feel like these are obvious decisions and obvious actors you keep around. It sounds like they're going to go in a younger, new, I hate to say it, modern audience direction, right? When James Gunn announced Henry Cavill was gone as Superman, he also announced a new, younger Superman movie. I think they're going to try to go in a younger, unfortunately, again, modern audience direction, which is just gonna be disgusting. I don't want to see another young Wonder Woman, young Superman. I really like these older versions of the characters, the gritty versions of the characters, not young and hopeful anymore. They are feeling fed up and down in the dumps, and everything looks shitty for them until they save the day, and just the more adult leading content. And I think that they're going in that young direction, which I don't think is gonna work. I think that while yes, there are kids and younger people who like to see these heroes, I think that they're only going to make you so much money. And I just don't think that the people who love Henry Cavill, Gal, Ben Affleck are going to return for other movies. Yeah, yes, more cynical versions of these characters are, in my opinion, what are doing good right now and what people want to see. I mean, Joker did fucking amazing. The Batman did fucking amazing. And these are more cynical, darker, slightly older versions of these characters. They're not young and at the beginning of their superhero career and they're excited about everything and they're gonna save the day. No, they're not like that. And I think that that is what people want to see right now. Hello, welcome to the stream. Never understood why they made him Aquaman. Jason Momoa? I think that he's a pretty good Aquaman. But I do agree that him as Lobo is very smart. And I think that he would make a great Lobo. But I like him as Aquaman. So it doesn't bother me. You know? I still like him as the character. Henry Cavill should go to WWE. And just play like a Superman character there. It is crazy behavior. Everything that they're doing. It's like they're doing everything that fans don't want. Because people want Flash canceled. They want Aquaman 2 canceled. And they're getting rid of all the characters and actors that we really like. Again, Wonder Woman 1984 was a fucking disaster and it was really bad. I think the Gal has shown that she can play the character well, though. So I'd like to see another shot at her playing Wonder Woman. If I wanted to see a young Superman, I'd rewatch Smallville. Yeah, I feel like they want to go in a Smallville direction, which is not good in my opinion. I don't know. I think that they're making really big mistakes right now. I really do. I've said this for the past couple weeks. James Gunn is a proven director. He's good at directing, and he deserves credit for that. But I don't think that he can manage a company like DC. I don't think that he's good enough. I don't think that he can do it. And I think that it's not going to pay off for them. Yeah, and these are just the movies. Never mind DC Comics. DC Comics is just dead at this point. I don't see any way that they could save DC in the comics. Comics industry is just kind of fucked at this point. I said that because I've always seen him as Lobo. Yeah, I think that he would be a great Lobo, and I definitely think that they should try that if they're not going to keep him as Aquaman. But you know, I don't know. I don't even think that they'd keep him. I think a giant reason why they want to cut these actors is because they want a lot of money. I think that they want a lot of money, and I think Jason Momoa probably wants money as well. And they probably don't want to pay him. So then it leads to the question of, well, they wouldn't pay Henry Cavill or Gal, but they'll pay Jason Momoa to play a new character? Does that make a lot of sense? No, it really doesn't. I think he'd be a good version of the character, but... And I don't understand why they think that, I'm gonna hide my screen real quick just so I can open Discord and bring up another article. Why they think that people want what they're doing. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. It's just really fucking weird. It's just really, really weird. I don't know. It's like they're fucking confused or something, even though they're not really confused. Also, guys, really quickly, I figured that we could chat about this. I think, be doing a video on this tomorrow. But woke film critics are getting mocked for accusing Avatar: The Way of Water of cultural appropriation, claiming white actors are cosplaying people of color. Now, usually when we talk about people of color, you know, we're not talking about blue people, but we are talking about blue people in this case. I'm sorry, but this is just cringe. You deserve to get mocked for making a stupid fucking tweet like this. A freelance film critic has been mercilessly mocked for accusing The Way of Water of cultural appropriation, claiming director James Cameron only cast white actors to cosplay as aliens of color in the blockbuster hit. Zoe Saldana plays Neytiri. She is not a white woman cosplaying as a blue character. All it takes is 2 seconds of research to look up the cast for this movie and see that he didn't hire just white people. It says she contributed to BuzzFeed News, and the Philadelphia Tribune made the comments on Twitter. Yeah, no fucking wonder that this is the idiot who's coming out attacking James Cameron and Avatar. I'm sorry, but you have to be really stupid to say things like this. Cultural appropriation? Because of blue people? Yeah, many have claimed that Zoe is actually white and she's not. At some point, we gotta talk about the cultural appropriation of Avatar, and white actors are cosplaying as people of color. It's just a mess and not so necessary, and no amount of visual effects and CGI is gonna erase that. But these characters aren't white. Does it matter who plays them? If an actor can act, isn't that what matters the most? Actors get paid to act. And it's not cultural appropriation. She has now made her Twitter account private, but many seized on her comment as a woke take gone too far. I think that is hilarious. Yeah, only 9-foot-tall blue aliens can play 9-foot-tall blue aliens in movies, apparently. How does that... We're not talking about a movie where the characters represent real people. They don't look like real people. They don't talk like real people. Yeah, and it even says Zoe Saldana, a Maori actor, Cliff Curtis, an African American woman. We're talking about a cast that does have diversity. They're not just all normal white people, gross white people. Right, what culture is being appropriated here? James Cameron didn't even try to find native blue people to play these roles. We need aliens to play aliens. No humans appropriating alien culture. It's even more funny because they hid their Twitter because they saw how much heat they were taking and they couldn't stick by their opinion. If you're gonna say something, say it with your fucking chest, right? If you're going to bring this up and you're gonna cause a scene, at least have fully formed opinions and defend those opinions. But they didn't, which is ridiculous. But yeah, guys, those are the topics we had to discuss tonight. Woke film critic being mocked for accusing Avatar of cultural appropriation. DC is a disaster. Diablo 4. Blue Protocol. Lord of the Rings. Johnny Depp. I'll be hanging out for a couple more minutes, so if you have any questions or topics, feel free to leave them in chat. But those are the topics we had to discuss tonight. Yeah, how dare they not hire blue actors for this movie? Absolutely disgusting. White actors cosplayed as people of color. Nobody was cosplaying a person of color. I wonder if Vera was pre-blocked by her. Well, she hid her Twitter account. She privated her Twitter account, so I don't follow her. She doesn't follow me, so I can't even see her account right now. Will 2023 be a good year? Probably not. I hate to be negative, but probably not. Maybe. I'd love to be positive. I don't know, chat. The clown world is honestly getting kind of worse. There's still people claiming Jennifer Lawrence was the first woman to star as a action movie main star. I haven't seen anyone really talking about that. I think that everyone kind of acknowledged how stupid she sounded, and that was it. Clearly, James should have consulted Pandora's Diversity and Inclusion Board before making this film. It's just so funny because we're not talking about real people here. You know, we're talking about fictional characters of a fictional race. Like, even if they wanted them to represent Maori culture more in this movie, and that's what she wanted to complain about, her initial claims are absurd. I mean, white actors are cosplaying people of color. That's the problem. Is Clown World going to get so bad it destroys Hollywood? I don't think so, because Hollywood has always been kind of Clown World. Hollywood has always been pretty woke. They've just gotten much more blatantly obvious about their wokeness in movies and about their progressiveness in films. So I don't necessarily think they're gonna get better, but I don't really know how much worse they could get. You know what I mean? I mean, it's already fucking major Clown World. Oh, she's not privated anymore? Gotcha. 2023 will be slightly positive since Twitter is no longer controlled by weirdos. Yeah, I guess that's true. I think that there is something there to look forward to if you dig deep and really try to find something to be positive about, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know how much more positive the year's gonna be compared to this year. Should there be an anime adaptation of River City Girls? That would be awesome. I really like River City Girls. I think that they should totally make a anime series out of it. That would be sweet. I don't know if they will. I haven't heard any plans that they have for it, but it would be pretty awesome. Also, guys, like I said, tomorrow evening we will be doing the supporter stream. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Of course, I'll be uploading videos like normal tomorrow. But tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be doing supporter stream. So if you are on a Dark Titan via Patreon or Dark Titan via YouTube memberships, you'll get access. And yeah, then Thursday, we will be finishing up, or at least continuing, River City Girls 2. I don't know if we'll finish it, but we'll at least be playing more of it. And then we'll go from there and see what else is going to happen. Because, of course, this weekend is the holidays. I will not be streaming on Saturday. But my plan right now is to stream on Sunday, which is Christmas Day. Which, I don't know what I'll be streaming at. But yeah. Maybe on Christmas we can do a little 60k subscriber celebration. I don't know what we'll do, but maybe we can do something special. But yeah, at some point we have to talk about Avatar's cultural appropriation. I know, I wish it would make sense. I wish that these people would actually give solid arguments regarding the stupid shit that they're pushing out on social media. But they don't do that. So, yeah. But anyway, guys, I'll be wrapping up stream in a minute if you have any last minute questions or topics. In the 80s, you had movies butchered by the MPAA. Nowadays, you have movies destroyed by wokeness and fear to insult someone. Yep, exactly. I mean, movies have always, unfortunately, been the target of progressively minded individuals. And of course, they've attacked everything. I mean, manga, anime, video games, books, you name it. But definitely gotten worse in terms of movies lately. Will the Super Mario Bros. Movie in 2023 be as bad as the 90s film of the same name? I don't think so. I think that it'll be good. I think that it'll be entertaining. Outrider Golf. Absolutely no way possible. Eggnog ice cream. Eggnog and Outriders DLC. No. No. Thank you, Mr. Video Game, for the $2 super chat. The water people use Maori culture. I know. I said that. I mean, we've talked about that. But, they're still blue people. They're still fake, still blue people, but thank you for the donation. No Outriders, and I definitely don't think eggnog. But good try, chat. Good try, chat. This is who Hollywood has always been. They've just stopped pretending. Oh yeah, definitely. I for sure agree with that. Do a Rings of Power watch party. Listen, it's a good idea because we could all cringe together and we could all laugh at how bad it is. But I don't want to get my channel banned for Rings of Power. You know, that's the problem. I don't want my channel getting obliterated because of such a trash show. If it was that easy, I would, but I can't. Also, am I gonna get banned on YouTube? Because I've been getting a lot of like YouTube recommended videos and like videos on Twitter talking about how to be a Twitch streamer. I'm not even fucking joking. There's like how to set up these notifications on Twitch and those notifications on Twitch and doing this and that for Twitch. I've been getting a lot of how to be a Twitch streamer ads lately, and honestly, I'm feeling a little bit worried that I might be banned from YouTube, and the universe is trying to tell me something. So, I don't know. I think something odd is going on. We need to find alternate universe Twitch Vera. I bet in another timeline I am a Twitch streamer, just not this one. And I'm very glad that it's not this one, because Twitch sucks. Sakura Santa for Christmas? I'll write it down. I'll look it up. Twitch Vera is a wild one. Am I like a e-thought on Twitch? That'd be pretty funny. Vera could avoid a copyright strike by recreating the Rings of Power with puppets. If somebody recreates the Rings of Power with puppets, I will watch it on stream. But alright guys, with that being said, I'm gonna wrap up the stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. Check out links in the description. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Minds, BitChute, Odyssey, Getter. Join our Discord server. We're very active there. And of course, I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live stream. Check out today's video and the past few days worth of videos. Of course, new videos tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. Patreons, YouTube members, supporters in general. I will be doing the supporter stream, hanging out for a little while, chatting with you guys before the holidays. So yeah, support. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap up stream. So next stream is tomorrow, but then on Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be continuing our playthrough of River City Girls 2. That's at least my plan. And then we'll be talking about what I'll be doing over the weekend, because the streaming schedule is messed up since I won't be streaming Thursday. I mean, I won't be streaming Saturday, but I will be probably streaming Sunday. So alright guys, check out links in the description. Follow me on social media. Check out the past few days worth of videos. Thank you all so much for stopping by, for the donations and the support as well. And have a fantastic evening, everyone.